What's up, people? Welcome back to the channel. Okay, so I this weekend I had a really cool time. I'm locals. Me and the homie ended up taking first and second place. We didn't end up getting anything good in the packs, but after all that was over, we ended up playing some Edison, some GOAT format, and like to be honest, I had a really good time. I've mentioned this before on the channel that I never really got an opportunity to play this style of Yu-Gi-Oh. I started playing Yu-Gi-Oh like in 2000. I started playing more modern and more like competitive Yu-Gi-Oh in 2012. So I really missed all this year, all the 5Ds I missed. So it's really interesting to go back and to explore these formats and to just play them because this is all brand new to me. So expect some more Edison related content. I might probably do more. I probably might do like two different market watches where it's like like the regular meta and then the Edison and GOAT stuff. So, but for now, this is gonna be the first market watch talking about Edison cards. Sorry for the long intro, but if you like the video, please like and subscribe. If not, it is all cool. Without out the way, let's go and get into the cards. Blackwing Value, the Emblem of Honor. This is a card that I thought was gonna be super expensive, but like like when I went into it, I saw that it got the reprint. I'm like, oh yeah, all the Blackwings got reprinted in battle in one of the battles of Legends. Yeah, but like Crystal's Revenge. So you have the value as a secret rare for really cheap at 50 cents. So it's not as expensive as I guess some people might say, or like you might initially think. The super rares you get them for about a dollar, dollar 69, dollar 50. The secret rare from Legendary Collection, these are kind of more like the four. Like, these are kind of a little more in the more expensive range. I guess like it depends on what rarity you want to go. Um, yeah, that's kind of what it is. Like, what rarity you want to go, and also how true you want to stay to the to the format, because you essentially have to play under the olds rules of the game. And the thing that kind of helps you do that is having the older printing of the cards, because they have have the effects the way they're written before any erratas were kind of like put in place. But at the same time, as long as you're able to keep everything together, you can play with some of the newer reprinting cards. But it it, it doesn't it doesn't how was I trying to say this? It doesn't mean that just because you're allowed to play the reprinted cards that it is just kind of super cheap. Because if you start going back to some of these older printings, like a near mint first edition secret is already costing you about $3 right here, 3.25. But a lot of these cards have this right here, to where they have the ultimate rare version. You have a damaged version for 25.69, but like heavily played, they're about $37. You're looking at $45 for a light plate unlimited. Right here in the chart, like the first edition market is going at 213. To be honest, we're probably just gonna kind of leave a lot of this. So, like a lot of the sales, I would just go ahead and get an unlimited one. We're looking at about like $46 for the unlimited ultimate rare. This is where the path format gets expensive, when you want to get the higher rarity stuff. But even though you have a lot of reprinted cards, such as Gale, you have the Shura, you have the Bora. A lot of those stuff, they got reprinted. Things that didn't get reprinted were Blackwing Armor Master. Blackwing Armor Master hasn't gotten a reprint in a very, very long time. The cheapest one we're looking at right here is the Gold Rare, which is about $14. And then you got this other gold rare. This one here is showing at 11.86, but I bet probably like the more average price is maybe about like $13 to $15. The secret rare, these right here are going for about $24. This is another. This is kind of like another one. These were kind of like super high at one point, but now they're kind of starting to, I guess, like kind of come down a little bit, because I mean, like with Edison, the format is always getting, I guess, like cracked. The format's always getting figured out, to where every couple of every couple of months, every couple of weeks, the top decks kind of shift to where it's like, oh well, it used to be these top decks, now it's these top decks. Oh, this new deck is in, which changed everything up. So there is kind of things changing up and develop, like with the meta, which is also making certain cards kind of fluctuate, especially ones that don't have a reprint. Like Near Mint First Set 24, we're looking at like $25 for like a secret rare, but Black and Arm Master, and this is not for meta. It's like this is not for taking to like regionals to go try to play for like first place in that. This is to go play the side events, to play the Time Wizard format stuff. So this would be a very nice card to get a reprint. Another nice card to get a reprint would be the Blackwing Silver and the Ascendant. This has gone down. I remember these rares were like almost $10. And like these were probably kind of these were I don't know how many the supers were, but I know the ultras. I actually just at regional I just picked one of these up for about $15. Kind of like a decent price. It looks really nice. Kind of like a nice, like almost very close to mint version. But you get like the light play unlims for about like 11.25. So yeah, so like if you want to go with lower rarity stuff, then it's easier to pick up. But if you want to go higher rarity, then past format starts to get is a little bit more expensive. Pulling the rug. Here is a card that is just has no use in the meta whatsoever right now. It's a good effect. I'm not gonna say it's bad, but this card essentially has no place in the meta whatsoever. But it is a very good card in Edison. Essentially, I'm gonna bring one of these up real quick. So the effect reads: negate the activation and effect of an effect monster whose effect activates when a monster was normal summon, even itself, and destroy that effect monster. So essentially, it's very good against monarchs because like a lot of them are, I think all the monarch effects, they're mandatory activations when they summon, so there's no way to get around that. So they essentially force like forcibly play into pulling the rug, and this is just like an automatic out. Like a lot of times the Edison, like depending on what type of deck you're playing. You're playing frogs, and they could get a lot of the tributes back, so it's not as impactful. But there are certain strategies where if you take out their tribute summon, then you essentially kind of get a lot of momentum. So this is like a huge staple in Edison format in a lot of side decks. You got like heavily played first at $9, moderately played 11. We're looking at light played first set for about $11. We're looking at $10 to $11 for like a mod play first set of this card. Yeah. So you got pretty much. Then you got another different champion pack, kind of the same thing, looking about 10 to 11. But this is kind of another thing where this has a ultimate rare version, and the ultimate rare version. Let's see, moderate played unlimited. We're looking at $22. Light played unlimited, $28. So we're looking at $29, $30. Kind of like on the lower end for this card. The first edition market is kind of showing it's more like in the $40 to $45 range. But yeah, like I said, if you want to go all out in Edison, then that's when it kind of starts to get a little expensive. Trap Dust Shoot. This is a card where like you might be able to look into your bulk, and you might actually find like a copy of this card. It's extremely expensive, has not gotten a reprint in a very long time, and it's just like it is a very, very good card. This right here is like this is the reason. Okay, I shouldn't say this is the reason, but this is pretty much what's that one card called? Opponent of the Red Lotus. This is Opponent of the Red Lotus, basically. Like, but way better. You don't have to pay any life points, and essentially gives you all the answers you want. Lets you see your opponent's hand, and then then it sends one of them to the graveyard. So having this card, especially in a slower kind of format, to where knowing what your opponent has, that kind of advantage goes a long way. Especially if you could just one for one use one card to get rid of another card, and also know what's in your opponent's hand. It could really go a long way, especially if your opponent kind of hand isn't really the best. So that way they can't really bluff their way out of certain situations. It'll let you know if they have some type of like board breaker. Although it'll let you know if they have a Starlight Road, so you know that you're free to destroy multiple things. So there is a lot of different, like, there's a lot of uses that this card kind of like has, a lot of advantages the card brings you. So this card being super expensive just kind of makes sense. The common short prints are about like in the $5 range, but let's see, I haven't kind of checked them in a while. So we're looking at the damage ones for 6 damage first ed 563. Let's see. So damage first hit for 563. Yeah, okay, I kind of had a feeling that one was going to happen. We're going to come back to this one real quick. So Junk Synchron. Junk Synchron is another card that hasn't gone to reprint in a while, and it looks like a lot of these common versions are essentially like almost like kind of in the dollar range. You got probably like 70 cents, 69 cents, 75 cents. So so if you see these in your bulk, kind of like pick them out. They are like worth it just to have to kind of like trade. You might be able to trade like like 2 for $1. But let's see, let's just try Chub Just Do. Okay, yeah, let me come back to Chub Just Do real quick. Moderate, yeah, that's what I thought. So like a moderate played first at 725. So you know what? This is actually probably we're probably sitting here in like the $10 to $15 range for this card. Like these, like I actually found one of these not too long ago, and I sold it for extremely cheap. So that kind of sucks. Like it's just kind of slowly going up. That's kind of showing how important kind of this card is for Edison. All right, so let's go back to Junk Synchron. Sorry about that. I just wanted to kind of kill some time. So Junk Synchron, it looks like we really need this card to be reprinted in some type of, like all hollow set. Maybe it will come in Battle, like, Battle Legend, just to kind of get some of these different versions down, because you're paying, like, you got like $5 to $7 for the Dusa version. Then you got the the dual terminal parallel for about $5. Secret rare for about 20. So yeah, so like this, like a hollow version of this card is like commanding at least like a $5 to like $10 price point, which is kind of like crazy to see. And then the last card I want to talk about, which is the card that a lot of people already know about, but I decided to put at the end, is Substitute. I very much jumped on the hype because I knew I had I wouldn't say a whole bunch, but I knew I had a couple of these, and I found a couple of these, and I feel dumb now because now I'm thinking about rebuying them because I want to play Hero Frog. But at the same time, I was kind of hoping they were going to get a reprint. Maybe there's still some time. Maybe there might be a reprint announced in the new Battle of Legend. I highly doubt that, but if there is, that would be dope. Because this card is looking like it's about a $15 card. Heavily played first edition, $15. Light played unlimited, $16.69. So literally, like a light played copy of this card is like about like $16 to $17. We're probably looking at like almost $20 for a near mint copy of Substitute. If you have these and you're not playing Edison, I would like I said, if they're light play, yeah, it doesn't matter because eventually these cards are going to get the reprint. There's a reason why Konami brought this card back to one, and I think part of it is Konami feels like, oh, like we don't want to, like, I don't know, I think it's kind of weird, like maybe Konami doesn't want to just say, oh, we're just gonna do these reprints just for no reason. We're gonna give some type of underlying reason to it, and then bring it back. The Substitute could be their version of justifying reprinting into some kind of set. But in all honesty, we just need a reprint of this card so we can play it in Edison easier. Alright guys, that's it for the video. Peace out, and I'll catch you in the next one.